everyone. Today is something a little bit different. I'm gonna show you how I make my power protein soup. So let's do this thing. The first part of this recipe is to roast some vegetables. This is really easy, so I'm just gonna run through a few of the ingredients. Make sure you've got all of your cooking tools like a cutting board, a knife, a peeler. I used 2 peppers, a red one and an orange one, or is it a yellow one? A couple of onions, some garlic. You can even put a little hot chili up in there if you want to. I'm also roasting some carrots. I'm a recent sweet potato convert, so I'm gonna throw a couple of those in. Salt and pepper, of course, seasoned to taste. You can use whatever seasonings you want, but I love paprika. Some olive oil to get all that goodness going, and a little baking tray thing that's gonna be going in the oven. First step is to start peeling those beautiful sweet potatoes. Look at that. That is some fast motion action going on there. So just peel them up and then chop them up. I just made mine into some pretty chunky sized ones, but you can cut them however you want. And then it's as easy as placing them into the baking tray. I'm just throwing in my carrots in there. I did cheat. I bought some pre-cut carrots. Don't tell anybody, but it did make my life a little easier. Cut up the peppers. I just cut them like that. I get rid of that white stuff. I don't really know if you're supposed to eat those seeds or anything, but I just don't. So I'm just cutting those up into little pieces as well. And you guessed it, put them in that baking tray. Don't cry, but you gotta cut those onions now. I had some technical difficulties getting the skin off of these things. That was some tight skin, let me tell you. After you get the skin off, just cut them up roughly and yep, put them in that baking tray. Now the chili is optional, and I must admit that this turned out to be very, very spicy. I left all the seeds in, which are apparently the spicy part. This was definitely a bit too spicy for me, but YOLO. Now just try to crush your garlic. Just try a little harder there, Stay. Try, yep, do it. Yeah, that's how you do it. I didn't actually chop up the garlic. I just took the skin off and threw them in the baking tray just like that, just to add lots of flavor. I just like to drizzle a little bit of olive oil over top. That's what all the vegetable roasting recipes tell me, so I'm just gonna go with that. Next, add your salt and pepper. I love pepper so much, so I just add a little bit of that. Add your paprika. And now it is time to get dirty. Get your hands in there, stir it all up, make sure that seasoning is all over the vegetables. You really wanna get these vegetables nice and coated and catch that carrot. A quick tip that I learned from Rachel Ray is to have a bowl by your cooking station and just put all of the garbage and the skin and stuff into that bowl so you can just have an easy cleanup and just get rid of all of that stuff so that, you know what I'm saying? It's just a lot easier. Next thing I did was turn on my oven and turned it to 200 degrees. And this is the really easy part. Just put those vegetables in there and let them roast. It depends how big you cut your vegetables, but usually it takes me around 30 minutes to roast these kind of vegetables. Now for the actual soup part of it, we're gonna add the beans, which is the protein. I love beans so much. They are the magical fruit. Can we finish that phrase amongst ourselves, or do I have to say it now? For my soup, I'm using black-eyed beans, kidney beans, and butter beans, mainly because those are the only ones I had. I'm also gonna add a tablespoon of brown sugar, a little bit of mustard, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, salt and pepper, canned tomatoes, and we're also going to need some vegetable stock just to add to everything and make it more soupy. I'm just gonna make this vegetable stock really quickly. It comes in this little thing here, and you put it in the cup, and it doesn't come out, so you shake it and shake it and squeeze it and squeeze it, and you shake it and you shake it and you shake it, and finally it goes splat. Just follow the directions on your vegetable stock. I'm just adding the water and then stirring it all up. That is how it's done. Turn on your stove, and now we're just gonna start cooking the actual base of the soup. I'm adding 2 canned tomatoes, and I'm just going to town with the beans. I'm just gonna put those beans in there with the tomatoes and start stirring that around. Once you get all of that mixed together, just add your brown sugar, a dash of your Worcestershire sauce, add a little bit of mustard, and salt and pepper. Give it a little stir, make sure that's nice and worked in there. And once you think it's ready for it, add that vegetable stock. So just put the lid back on and let it simmer. And by this point, your vegetables should be roasted. So just get those out of the oven. Make sure you wear an oven mitt, people. I don't want to have anybody's burnt hands on my conscience, okay? So just take your vegetables over by the soup. Just look at that roasted goodness. Oh, what I would give for some of that right now. You have no idea how hungry I am. This part's really easy. Just take your vegetables and add them into that bubbling soup. Stir it all together once more. I usually just leave this on for another 5 minutes or so just to make sure everything's nice and hot and nice and seasoned and worked in there. And now it's time to eat. So I really hope you guys give this a whirl at home. It's so yummy when the weather is colder, and it's really easy to keep in the fridge and then reheat it. If you do try this at home, please tweet me a picture at essiebutton. I'd love to see it. Oh, and while I have your attention, make sure you watch my last video, which was a drugstore haul, and there may or may not be a little giveaway at the end of that video. I'll just give you a little hint. There is a giveaway at the end of that video. So just click on that box and I will see you in my drugstore haul. Bye!